No young person who has the grades, the work ethic, and the ambition to go to college should be denied that opportunity just because their parents don't make a lot of money. And if we are going to compete with China and the rest of the world in the global economy, we need a workforce with 21st century skills. Approximately 6 million students receive Pell Grants in the 2023 to 24 school year, and a majority of those grants went to students whose families make less than $20,000 a year. However, the value of the Pell Grant is not keeping up with the rising cost of tuition and cost of living. Today, Pell Grants cover less than 1/3 of the average cost of attendance at a public four-year university. They used to cover 80%. In fact, the maximum Pell Grant amount has only been increased by about $1,600 over the last decade. Last year, I led 126 of our colleagues in calling for the Pell Grant to be doubled and indexed to inflation, and I plan to do so again this year. Restoring the Pell Grant's purchasing power will not only make college more affordable, but also improve outcomes by providing grant recipients more opportunity to focus on school by covering their basic needs. We must increase funding for the Pell Grant so that the next generation of Americans has access to the education they deserve. I also urge this committee to increase funding for career and technical education, innovation, and modernization grants. As we have heard, there is more than one path to success in this country, and we need to support a range of different education and job training opportunities, including for those kids who are eager to enter the job market or who may not want to attend four-year college. Career and technical education can prepare young people for good-paying jobs in a range of growing fields like healthcare, manufacturing, and the skilled trades. And students want these programs. In Rhode Island, my state, career and technical education programs have been so successful that the demand is larger than the number of spots available. More than half of Rhode Island public high school students are participating. More than half of high school students in my state are in CTE programs. Innovation and modernization grants fund research and pilot programs to ensure that career and technical education programs are keeping up with labor market needs. They also identify, support, and evaluate evidence-based strategies to improve the effectiveness of career and technical education. The needs of employers are constantly changing, and we need to ensure that career and technical education programs are adapting to meet those needs so that students know there is a good job waiting for them when they finish their program. Last year, I led 31 of our colleagues in sending this committee a letter in support of $64 million for CTE innovation and modernization grants, and I look forward to doing the same again this year. I'm glad that career and technical education has historically had robust bipartisan support in the House, and I'm optimistic that we can continue to work together on this important bipartisan issue. Finally, we must acknowledge that last week, the House passed a budget plan that directs the Education and Workforce Committee to make cuts of at least $330 billion in order to pay for tax cuts that will largely benefit the rich. And President Trump has repeatedly stated his intention to eliminate the Department of Education. We cannot sell out America's students and employers by gutting education and job training. I ask my colleagues to take education off the chopping block and instead invest in providing opportunities to the next generation, including through expanding Pell Grants and career and technical education. I thank you for your consideration, and I yield back.